In this lesson, we'll begin rigging the tongue. We'll want enough control for a very flexible tongue. It's actually not going to be complicated to rig this. Let's go ahead and start by hiding the character's face. Might need to go to Layers and unlock the face, so we can go in and just temporarily hide it from the Objects Manager. Now we can go ahead and bring back the tongue. Okay. So from here, heading back over to the Attributes Manager, I'll now go ahead and grab the Joint tool. What we'll do is create a joint for each major split. So, I'll start at the root. And we'll just work our way down, taking a look at the edges. We should have a total of 5 joints in the end. Okay. So at this point, I'd like to go in and just rename these objects, and then we can have them stored in their layers and in our lower jaw hierarchy. So first things first, this is going to be root tongue 01. The first joint object, which will be skinned to, will be bn tongueA01, and we'll name the others alphabetically. So that will be B, C, I'm just copying and pasting here, D, and the last one will not be skinned to. That's unnecessary weight work that we'd have to do. So I'm just going to go ahead and give this a prefix of BE. We'll go back to the root, and let's go ahead and set the display to none. For joints A through D, we'll have them stored in the bones layer. And the last joint will be stored in objects to hide. Alright, great. So next, we'll want this to be parented to our lower jaw rig. Alright, so let's go ahead and find that bone. That's selected, we could always create a copy of the Objects Manager and use scroll to first active. There it is. So now I'll go ahead and have the root parented underneath the lower jaw. Alright, awesome. So of course, as we start to rotate this control, our rig will follow. We can actually go in and skin this. This is not going to take long to skin at all. So let's go ahead and take care of that step. I'll switch over back to the perspective view. Alright, so grabbing our geometry, can then go ahead and scroll down and find the lower jaw root. Here it is. I'll go ahead and expand that to grab tongue A all the way through D. Just control click those, and now we can choose character, commands, bind. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look at the initial skin, and see it's not bad at all. This is going to give us some very flexible looking results. Wanted to point out that if you wanted a tongue curl, it'd just be a matter of adding joints along the sides and then parenting those to their respective roots. So if you had joints along joint A, they would be parented to joint A, and then at that point you can use user data to drive their curling axis. That's just a thought, but it's not too necessary here. It all depends on what your character needs to do. So in our case, we'd be just fine. Now just to quickly take care of weighting, which will not take long at all, let's head over to our weight tool. We'll set our strength to 100%, our mode to absolute, and now we can just go in and select our joint objects and paint a full amount of weight here. I'll check the symmetry settings. We'll have this set to single, and then we'll just go in and paint each joint. So I'll now move to the next. I'll grab joint B, and I'll set that to 100%. I'll grab joint C and do the same thing. That symmetry tool really helps us to save some time here. And then for joint D, let's go ahead and take care of that, just filling in these areas at the top and underneath the tongue. I'm just making sure that the front has also been weighted. And now just for a little bit more flexibility here, I'll go ahead and set the strength to 10% and use that to paint to the edge loop before it, just so that there's a little bit of a pull. We don't want to do that for the base of the tongue. We want that to be fully weighted to our root joint. So we'll just go ahead and do that for the next bone object. For C, again painting 10% before it, we'll be good to go. Alright, great. So we're just about finished. What we'll now do is add our hypernerves node to this. So with the tongue selected, holding down Alt, we'll go ahead and add the hypernerves node. Alright, there it is. I'd recommend renaming this, so that's going to be hypernerves underscore tongue01. And now we could test this out. We can go to layers, and go in and lock the mesh layer, so we can quickly grab our joint objects and take a look here. And actually scroll back up to our tongue hierarchy. But as we rotate the base, alright, here's what we end up with. When we rotate bone B, we get some very flexible looking results. And what we'll do is make sure we create controls that will allow us to extend the tongue also. Alright, so everything looks great. And at that point, we can then go ahead and stop the lesson. And in the next lesson, we'll finish our tongue rig by creating controls.